Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Report, Dallas Cowboys WR:CeeDee Lamb's future with team gets major update after Justin Jefferson extension. The Dallas Cowboys have played the slow game all offseason, with Jerry Jones sitting back and making very few significant moves while other teams in the NFL add new talent and lock down their top players with contract extensions. While Jones is clearly committed to sticking by the current squad led by head coach Mike McCarthy and QB Dak Prescott, after 3 straight 12-win regular seasons, it's been interesting to see how the Cowboys owner and GM has decided to play a critical offseason when it comes to the team's top players heading into 2024. When the 2023 campaign came to an early end in the wild-card loss against the Green Bay Packers, almost every NFL expert and insider believed the Dallas Cowboys would extend QB Dak Prescott as soon as possible, which would free up salary cap space to ink other deals with key players and add new talent to the roster. Instead, Jones stated publicly he's talked to Prescott and plans to let the Cowboys QB play out the final year of his contract, which means he will absorb a massive cap hit for 2024 and has a real chance of becoming a free agent after the season. New reports from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler now state the Dallas brass does in fact want to get a deal done with Prescott soon, but everything is up in the air as of now. The Dallas Cowboys' 2 other most important players, CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, are also both entering the final year of their contracts, and Jones, according to sources close to the team, plans to keep both All-Pro talents on the roster. He used the franchise tag on Parsons, and the assumption is the team will reach an extension with one of the best defensive players in the NFL before the end of 2024, while reports have continued to state the team plans to extend Lamb, but as training camp nears, a deal still hasn't been signed. It would have been much smarter, and likely cheaper, if Jones would have taken a proactive approach and inked an extension with Lamb earlier, because with Monday's unprecedented deal making Justin Jefferson the highest-paid non-QB in the NFL, Lamb's price tag keeps getting higher. According to a report from NFL insider Josina Anderson, contract negotiations between Lamb and the Cowboys will likely speed up following Justin Jefferson's historic 4-year, $140 million extension with the Minnesota Vikings that he signed today. There has been a long list of lucrative wide receiver contract extensions his offseason. Aside from Jefferson's record-setting deal, Amon-Ra St. Brown, $120 million, A.J. Brown, $96 million, Jalen Waddle, $84.75 million, Devonta Smith, $75 million, Nico Collins, $72.75 million, and Michael Pittman Jr., $70 million, have also secured the bag. CeeDee Lamb will presumably join that list any day now. He's coming off a career year in which the 2020 Dallas Cowboys first-round pick tallied a league-high 135 receptions for 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns. A 3-time Pro Bowler, Lamb has exceeded the 100-catch and 1,000-yard marks in each of the last 2 seasons. With comparable numbers to Jefferson over the last 3 seasons, Lamb and his agent will likely not settle for a deal less than the one the Vikings star WR just signed. Dallas Cowboys owner and de facto GM Jerry Jones has received ample criticism this offseason for failing to make any big splashes via trade or free agency. This after he said the Cowboys had an all-in offseason strategy following their playoff loss to the Green Bay Packers. Now, with Prescott's future in question and an extension coming for Parsons, Lamb has backed the Dallas brass into a corner and can almost force them to make him the highest-paid WR in the league. Waiting only makes the move more expensive, but there is every reason to believe the team wants to keep Lamb in Dallas long-term. Even if Dallas and Prescott end up parting ways after next season, number 4's successor would at least be set up nicely with Lamb as his main weapon. It will be interesting to see if the Dallas Cowboys can find a way to keep their top 3 players on the roster for the foreseeable future, and right now, it feels like the 2024 season could be one of the most important in recent franchise history with massive decisions looming. How Justin Jefferson's historic £109 million deal affects Dallas Cowboys' future negotiations. The Dallas Cowboys might find themselves in a bit of a pickle with the contract negotiations for stars CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and Micah Parsons after Justin Jefferson inked a historic £109 million deal with the Minnesota Vikings. In a monumental move for the NFL, 24-year-old Jefferson wrapped up months of speculation by signing the record-breaking contract, becoming the highest-paid non-quarterback in the history of the sport. Jefferson, who was in the last year of his rookie contract, played it cool and gambled on securing the best deal possible, a strategy that paid off handsomely. This could set a precedent that spells trouble for other teams, particularly the Cowboys, who have Lamb, Prescott, and Parsons lined up for extensions. Prescott, the team's quarterback, is reportedly not in a hurry to sign a new contract before the 2024 season kicks off, with both parties open to seeing how things unfold. On another front, wide receiver Lamb might be setting his sights on a deal that could rival Jefferson's, with NFL Network's Jane Slater reporting that Lamb is aiming for around £24 million annually, which would not be far off from Jefferson's £27 million a year with the Vikings. Lamb has opted out of off-season activities voluntarily, but according to ESPN, the Cowboys are not worried about his absence. They believe it won't affect his performance once the regular season kicks off in September. Parsons is also playing it cool with contract commitments, mirroring his teammates by keeping his options open. He's decided to skip off-season activities this year, just as he did last year. Currently, Parsons earns a base salary of £2.3 million, but that's set to skyrocket to £16.6 million next year under his fifth-year option. He's reportedly aiming for a whopping £23 million annually in a new long-term deal. In a strategic move, the Cowboys have cut ties with wide receiver Michael Gallup, which saves them £7.4 million on this year's salary cap. However, this will still impact their 2025 cap space with a charge of £8.7 million. Following Gallup's departure, the Cowboys had about £2.9 million in cap space at the start of the month. Report: Dallas Cowboys HC Mike McCarthy getting fed up with Jerry Jones undermining him. Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy is entering the final year of his contract on the hot seat. McCarthy's perceived lack of power as a lame duck appears to be gnawing at him a bit. McCarthy's job status was a major headline after the Cowboys were upset at home by the Green Bay Packers in the wild card round. There were rumors the Cowboys could fire McCarthy and try to hire former New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. In fact, many think Belichick has a chance to take over the job in 2025. However, the Cowboys have decided to let McCarthy ride out the 2024 season to prove his worth for a new contract. The team currently has McCarthy, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons heading into the all-in season on the last year of their contracts. McCarthy's contract situation can affect the Cowboys' locker room more than having a player operating in the final year of their deal. Tyler Dunne with Go Long talked to several sources who think the Cowboys are making a mistake by letting McCarthy coach on the last year of his contract. At least give him a one-year extension, says a former Cowboys personnel man. You may not have to give him another 5 years, but at least extend them out 1 year and extend out all the coaches 1 year to give them a level of security. Players on the roster need to know the coaching staff can keep them accountable because management has the staff's back. Currently, Dunn notes, the players are more worried about ownership. Multiple people high up in the organization indicate that current players are more concerned about Jerry Jones than their own head coach. They know ownership can undermine the head coach at any moment. So that means you can get a talented team like they've had, this personnel source says, but they're going to underachieve when the coaches can't influence the players the way they need to. One would imagine a coach wouldn't like being put in a losing situation here. McCarthy has to get his players to buy into his program to succeed and keep his job. but the players aren't buying in because it's not McCarthy's show. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike McCarthy? Leave your opinion in the comments.